everybody and welcome back to Driversroom Sunday League. We're here at round number 5 at the Tsukuba racing circuit all the way over in Japan. We are here at a very rainy day in some old Alfa Romeos. I believe it's the Alfa Romeo 155 and it's a very lovely car to drive, at least in my opinion. So a very wet track with fast-ish cars. I think very pretty fast cars, actual race cars. They should also be able to handle good in the weather. And some drivers opting for different tires. Maybe some strategy later on in the race when it all dries up. Who knows? We will see. Anyway, let's go to the grid order for today's race. Starting on pole position, it's a familiar face. It is Cartman Reviser. He starts on pole position for tonight. As lining up alongside him, it is Too Fast. Up in third place is Flappy. And fourth place is for Low Power. Then Geclaren puts his car in fifth. With Lionessy in sixth. Then this Spo in seventh place. With Q8 in eighth. Good coincidence for name, anything? Okay. Mercer in 9th place with Marty T in 10th. Then it is Mr. Sean in 11th place with Urk in 12th. Then final row is Vettel in 13th and Mickey in 14th position on the grid. Now that is the grid order for today's race. Let's see what this race will bring us. Three lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And they're out and away we go for round number 5. A lot of water being sped up by the cars leaving their starting grids. Into turn 1, Cartman holds the lead from Too Fast and Flappy as they make their way round the opening sector of the lap. It's very slippery, a lot of water, standing water on the track currently, and a variety of car or tire choices as Urk almost sliding off the track, regathering himself and staying on track and even staying ahead of Vettel. Now on the back straight, let's take a look at tires. Cartman on the intermediates, so is Flappy. Geclaren is on the wets. Lioness is also on the wets, then it's Spo on the wets. Volpower also on the wets, then it's intermediates for Too Fast as well, as they make the end of lap 1 without any major incidents. Mercer also on the intermediates, and Q8 on the wets. Intermediates for Mr. Sean as well, wets for Mark and for Vettel. Inters for Mickey and inters for Urk as well. So already a bit of a gap forming. Top 5 stretching somewhat clear of the cars behind. As Low Power at the moment coming out of what would be turn number 4. Moving down the place to slot in behind Too Fast. Spo with a penalty, a 1 second penalty. He will serve that next lap. There might already be a little bit of a dry line forming. Geclaren with the fastest lap, a 1:07.360. As Q8 is having a look around the outside of Mr. Sean, he is a little bit lagging. That's why he's jittering a little bit all over the place. Carmen going purple into sector number 1. Can he retake that fastest lap away from McLaren? Spo will serve his penalty this lap, and he had an increased penalty for more incidents, and will put him behind low power. I don't think so. He will stay ahead from low power for the time being. Mercer also had a half-second penalty to serve, or 1 second penalty, I'm not sure. Anyway, he is in the middle of the battle between Q8 and Mr. Sean. There was a little bit of contact between the two of them, and that contact led for Mercer to slither past and back up to 9th place. McLaren still with the fastest lap, a 107.1 this time. Going a couple of tenths quicker. He is also going quicker in the first sector. McLaren being the lead wet tire runner, he will be one to look out for in the dying stages of this race. When the track is clearing up, maybe that will even become at the halfway point. As the track is really drying up, it seems, with new fastest laps being posted. And Spo actually with a fastest lap of a 106.890. Whereas Vettel and Mr. Sean getting close and personal with each other. Mr. Sean stays in front of Vettel for now. McLaren is making ground on Flappy. A little bit better traction, I say that, and he's wobbling all over the place. As behind Q8 had moved on an attack on low power. Not sure if it worked out, I don't think so. Low power stays ahead in 7th place. And it's about now the threshold between wets and intermediate. Some part of the circuit are still for wet conditions. Others you might get away with running the inters, or they will be quicker. Flappy has actually made a mistake in the opening part of the lap. Going deep into turn 1, I suspect he's dropped down to 4th place, giving Linus the podium position, at least for now, as Flappy's on the threat of losing another position to Tuvas. Tuvas moving around the outside of the penultimate corner and taking 4th place from the hands of Flappy. Q8 came close to the back of low power, coming down to the back straight, and now he has a run around the outside. Will he be able to make it stick? I think so, yes. As in the rearview mirror you can see low power pulling out of this battle and just slotting himself in behind in 8th place. Now Tuvas has the fastest level for 106.644 on the intermediate tires. Cartman also on the intermediate tires keeps or still has that lead he got at the start. Geclair on those wets with Linus also on the wets behind. Will be interesting to see what kind of strategic calls there will be made. Because it looks to me like the intermediate might be a little bit quicker, albeit not a lot quicker. Q8 improves his personal best lap time to a 7.003. As Mark GT is into the pit lane, switching from wet tires on to intermediate tires, but he did cut the pit lane entrance, resulting in him getting a 3-second penalty. Geclair just looking for that grip. Wet tires not proving optimum at this stage. As Mr. Sean and Vettel are still going at it between each other. Vettel really wanting to make a move, but you can see how much he's sliding, trying to put Mr. Sean under pressure. There a move from Vettel into turn 1, but does not make it stick. So Vettel stays behind Mr. Sean for now. Cartman is getting chased up by Geclair. As now conditions have really dropped into the intermediate region. Still, Geclair actually going purple to the second sector, but maybe a bit wide in the final sector, which is also the final corner. But actually improves on his time. Improves the overall best lap of the race so far. Currently held by Flappy, the first person to get into the 105s on those intermediate tires. There you can see, intermediates are quicker now at this stage. Of course everyone is getting quicker, the less water, the more speed you can carry. But look at that, almost a full second quicker in the first sector compared to Linus's lap time. Mr. Sean's lap time actually. Mr. Sean currently, now Mark GT with a 104.9. Mark GT all the way at the back of the grid, having pitted from wet to intermediate. Now currently holds the fastest lap. That shows it's really intermediate time. But do you want to switch off those wets if they still provide sufficient speed that you don't really lose otherwise in the pit lane, if you get what I mean. But yeah, there's definitely a dry line being created. Flappy now with a 103, so in a couple of laps time we have gone from 106s to 103s. That shows how much the track is improving at this stage. Now Cartman seems to be pulling away slightly from Geclair. Having that pace advantage, he needs to use it now. As I believe the rain has stopped falling from the sky, also makes it a lot quicker to dry up. As you might almost be able to make it on these slicks if you stay out on the wet tires. Low power has moved past Q8. As Flappy has set a 101.9. And if you look at the right hand side of the screen, it's lap 8, a 107.5, then a 105.8, 103.7 and a 101.9, almost 2 seconds a lap quicker every lap, as the track is almost becoming dry enough for some slicks. But that is if you stay on the racing line. If you go off the racing line, there's a lot more standing water, and that will severely reduce your grip. So it's a very interesting strategic call to make. As Mickey now under threat from losing a position to Marty T. Marty T having made that pit stop. And Mickey has not. It's very clear that Marty T is currently on much better pace. As in front, McLaren has fallen away massively, all the way down to 5th place, making a big mistake, I believe, into turn number 1. And dropping him down to 5th place. As Flappy's into the pit lane from intermediate tires. So not even on the wets, and he thinks slicks are sufficient now. Oh, and McLaren again going very deep into turn number 1. The wets not giving him enough grip under braking. And Spo as well going a little bit wide. As that nearly gave Low Power an opportunity to pass. As Q8 has a half a second penalty for a track limits violation, and he serves that and gets going again. Low Power is into the pit lane from wet tires. He thinks it's time to switch onto the slicks. So does Q8. And Cartman now with a sub 1 minute lap time of a 59.7, pulling a massive gap to P2, currently held by Too Fast, and Lionessy in 3rd. Oh, and Low Power comes out of the pit lane and immediately spins out on his slick tires. The wet part of the track, especially the pit lane exit, being very, very precarious to take. And it actually has started raining again. Q8 also coming out on the slick tires, but seemingly faring a little bit better. Also with a 3-second penalty for cutting the pit lane entrance or exit, I am not sure. And he goes in massively deep, no grip on his tires. There he comes back onto the track. He serves his penalty now. Low Power will serve his penalty as well, as he also gets going now. And he actually pulls back into the pit lane. That's not a very that's not a great strategy, I must assume. Mickey spinning out on his slick tires as well, but Low Power going, what I presume, back to the intermediates, and Q8 stays out. But yeah, I'm not sure if slicks are the right choice as of now. Giclaren is into the pit lane on his wet tires. Because it's rained again, it's more in the intermediate territory now. Everyone else seems to stay out. Flappy on his slick tires doing worse lap time than he did when he was on the intermediates, or even the west, I'm not sure actually. So it might have been too early for a couple of people. Giclaren coming out of the pits also with a 3-second penalty with on those slick tires. And now Cartman is in. Will Tufas come in as well? No, Tufas on the intermediate stays out. And so does Linesi. Linesi still on the wet tires actually. And Spo also staying out on his wet tires in 4th place. Mercer now up to 5th place with his intermediates. Mr. Sean also on intermediate tires. And Vettel on wet. And Cartman comes out in a little bit of traffic. Gets side by side with Spo, but has a 3-second penalty for cutting the pit lane exit. And that will demote him a little bit further down the field, but he should have massive overspeed on Spo ahead. And doesn't want to get held up as much as he is right now, because here too fast, staying out for another lap, even improving currently on his personal best lap, which was set half a lap ago, or 1 lap ago. Goes a little bit off the racing line to cool down his tires. Goes best lap for him personally with a 59.9. And Cartman, after serving his penalty, has dropped all the way down to 6th place. And he has run very wide on the final corner, nearly spinning out, but luckily for him keeping it together. And now Mercer and Spo are going at it side by side. We're now behind one another. As Urk has moved himself all the way up to 7th place. Vettel on 8th, then Margiti in 9th, and Flappy, after being one of the first guys to pit, all the way down in 10th place. Giclaren also down in 11th place, when Q8 is in 12th, Low Power in 13th, and Mickey in 14th place. Still, no one opting to pit yet, thinking it's beneficial to stay out on these worn out, or will be worn out tires. As Spo goes off wide on the final corner, keeps it on the track barely, but Cartman nearly gets collected, and Spo's front tires are absolutely going to shreds on those wet tires. Wet tires do not like this dry of a surface. And he will have a massive pace difference to the cars around. Flappy now moving himself up to 10th place, getting past Vettel and Marquiti, both in quick succession. And Giclaren with a fastest lap of the race last time round of a 57.9. Already very close to the back of Vettel and Marquiti, and nibbling underneath the both of them, 2 places in 1 corner. As Spo, what happened to him? He has got some damage and pulling into the pit lane. We have to check the replay for that one. Riding on the board with Spo on the back straight, and he pulls it into the pit lane, but clobbers it into the pit lane entry board. That's what gave him the damage, so not turning in sufficiently enough, and that has cost him with a 1.5 second penalty and some damage. But he is in the pit lane now eventually, so goal achieved or something like that. Now we are back to live pictures. as Urk is attacking Flappy, but Flappy on these soft tires with a nearly dry surface, as in the background actually Urk goes off. Flappy should be a lot quicker. Cartman with a 1.5 second penalty for a barrier collision. He also got some damage to the left hand side of his car, left front side. Mercer all the way up in 4th place, not pitted yet. That might prove to be a very crucial strategy call. Lionessy also not pitted. Too Fast also not opting to pit. I think they are all staying out, trying to do their best efforts to cool down all the tires, but Cartman on those slick tires, he must be going pretty quick in these last 6 minutes. This last lap was hampered by a penalty, so not really good for comparison. But he must be getting so much quicker than the cars ahead. At least if he can stay on the dry line. All Power now back into the pits, this time to switch over to slick tires. And letting other cars go past. As he is currently now in last place, Mickey retiring from this race. And his nearest competitor, Spo, just a little bit up the road, but he's already a lap in front of Low Power. So Low Power not having a really good race. Strategic mishaps all round. Fast on his way to victory. Only 5 more minutes left to go. 5 more tours around this lap. And even improving his personal best lap time to a 59.7. Currently the fast lap belongs to Giclaren with a 57.0. Ahead of Flappy. Takes 6th place away from him. Cartman has gotten past Mr. Sean now. Already gotten past and John Mercer. So Cartman now completes the podium. And it will be unlikely for him to lose that podium. But can he catch up to Lionessy? Lionessy on very worn wet tires. And Cartman on very fresh rubber. There was a yellow flag. It was from Low Power spinning out in the penultimate corner. That's why there was a brief yellow flag. Spo is not giving up on his place to Too Fast, although blue flags are being shown. Another yellow flag for Low Power being perpendicular to the racing line on the main straight, as Flappy actually also spins out. And Flappy, a rare mistake, showing that it's still very treacherous on slick tires when going offline. Giclaren trying to make a move past Mr. Sean. He already has gotten past Mercer, but he also really wants to get past Mr. Sean. He can't really overtake or go offline. He takes a very narrow line. Mr. Sean goes a bit wide, but ooh, almost going off the track goes Giclaren. Luckily keeps it on, and he improves his position to 4th and might become 3rd very quickly, as Lionessi's last lap was a 101.8. Claimed it a not even a 58.6. Good 3 seconds quicker on that last lap, so Kicklaren will surely move himself up ahead of Lionessi. But where? That's the question. Tsukuba is a very narrow track with not an awful lot of overtaking opportunity, especially not in these conditions. But he's gonna try it anyway into the hairpin, making Lionnessi go deep and going for a switchback. And it seems to have worked, and Kicklaren is now up to the final podium position. But I think Tufas will hold on with only 2 laps left to go. Flappy will probably be able to get past M. John Mercer, as they are now on the main straight into turn number 1. Who can break the latest? Should be Flappy's corner, and it will be Flappy's corner. Flappy moves himself now up to 6th place, improving his position by 1. Nishan is next on the list for Flappy. Time might run out before he has the chance to get to him. Low Power getting some blue flags for MarGT and Q8. I think Low Power on the slick tires, is quicker than MarGT on almost shredded medium tires, intermediate tires, sorry, as he goes in very deep into the hairpin, and Q8 gets past him. Now we are on the final tour. I think Urk and Low Power will get the flag, and they will. So they finished Urk in 8th, Q8 in 9th, Low Power in 13th, MarGT in 10th place. But Tufas coming around the final corner for the final time. No stopping was the play, starting on the intermediates, and he wins round number 5 ahead of Carmen. Carmen putting in a fastest lap of the race on the penultimate tour. Can he improve his time? No, he cannot. His time stays to a 56.7, very quick. Kicklaren coming across the line to take 3rd place. Very well done to him. Flappy, a good recovery drive from him, puts him P4, just ahead of Mr. Sean and Lionnessi. Mercer will finish in 7th place, and I believe that's everyone for tonight. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. A very strategic race. Some pulled it off to perfection, and others did the complete opposite. So very interesting race to watch. Different strategies, different tires, different pace, all made for a very good race. Also weather, also a very good factor to what made this race so good. So anyway, if you have not already, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon for some more Driversroom Sunday League. Until then, have a good one. Bye bye.